Good job. And I think we're on for episode 6, season 2 of Last of Us. The second to last episode.
Which is wild. It's wild.
I don't know
You
why.
misled me, and I'm shocked.
Yeah, I don't know why I thought it was 10 episodes. And then earlier in the week, I saw it was 7. I was like, are you kidding me?
7 doesn't make sense. I also have a lot of technical difficulties today, so my sound might be off. But 7 episodes, it doesn't make any sense. Just round it out until 8. We need this time. We need it. But that's okay.
The devil's in the machines today. But yeah, okay. So let's just get started. What did you think about... Okay, so here's the thing. Let me start about this. 1, I did say this was going to be like a pure flashback episode.
You did.
So I called that right. But I was 100% wrong about Eugene.
I was going to say, can we talk about you being wrong about everything else?
No, that's what season 2 has been. I'm thinking I'm making all these like smart predictions. And the show's like, no, we're smarter than that. This isn't just a regular TV show. We're a cool TV show.
You sway me. You make me believe everything you say. You made me change my opinions on things.
Yeah, and this is why we're failing as a country.
Okay. Oh, yeah, that sounds right.
So, yeah, we're just spreading misinformation. Like, I've been telling you that there's 10 episodes, and that's wrong.
Although I don't think
you told me something about Critical Role that I don't think is correct.
Oh, see, I still haven't listened. Oh, that hurts my heart. Okay.
Well, the only reason I don't think it's correct is because I haven't seen anything official, other than what you put on there. And I think I would have seen it on Reddit pop up going, Robbie's the permanent member or whatever, or coming in.
I'm guessing they would have had an announcement too.
Yeah, the most I've seen is people complaining that they haven't said anything about C4 yet.
Now I'm sad.
But now that that's out of the way, what did you think?
Wait.
Go ahead.
Okay. Talking about theories and how you are wrong, let's talk about my theory since it's not really relevant to this episode, and then we can just talk about the episode. Let's talk about my theory that we're not getting Abby all season. Since there's only 1 episode left, not 4.
I think we're getting her next episode, but we're not getting her.
Okay, maybe that was her in the trailer that I saw. Okay.
Yeah.
Still, I'm more right.
No, you are. Yeah. I was like, no, that's impossible. They can't. I'm shocked to the point where I'm stuttering that they are keeping with the structure of the game.
I'm not. I was thinking about that so much today, and
I don't know if it'll work for. I don't think it'll work for the audience.
But I think there's no other way. There's no other way, because I was thinking that, but there is no other way to potentially get, even though I think TV audience seems a lot more chill than game audience, and I will give them credit for that. I don't think there's any way for people to buy into Abby without her being like at least one of the main POVs, if not like the main one, with Bella being kind of like intercut into it. Because how else do you buy into her story? You have to be with her.
So do you think, well, yeah, I thought we'd be with her. I just thought they'd split it up or something. Well, I also thought there was going to be more episodes to do that.
That's very true. See, this is why my theories have been led astray by your
by me,
lies.
My fake news. I've been thinking about this because I'm almost done with Veilguard. And I do think these flashbacks were effective. And they weren't one-to-one to the game. Which, I enjoyed the Joel backstory of it.
Yeah, that was a good addition.
And how they're still, I mean, and this is what Last of Us is, right? It's all about cycles. You know, cycle of parenting, cycle of violence, cycle, you know.
But it was so on the nose, almost to the point. Okay, I get it. Like, cycle of violence. We're in it, but it's so annoying. And I guess that's the point. But you know it's wrong. Dude knows it's wrong. Dude wants to do better. Dude being Joel's father. And still, you're going to have your little beer, you're going to have your little talk, and you're still going to go give your son the belt, even though you're crying about it. Just stop. But I guess if you could just stop,
didn't.
We wouldn't have this. I think.
No, he left.
He did.
He was still working. That's why he put his hat back on and he left.
Oh, I interpreted that as he went to give the belt. Okay, I'm less mad.
But yeah. What I still don't like it, but it does, like, for storyline purposes, I still don't think it's needed, and I don't like it. It makes the pregnancy thing make more sense in the show than it did in the game with Joel's flashback.
How so? Let me pick your brain on that.
Because he's like, when it's your time to be a parent, I hope you do better than I did.
Got it. Yeah, you're right. I totally didn't put those two together. Wow, my critical thinking skills. I'm having a very off day. To tell you, like, the mindset that I'm coming to this chat in, I also couldn't figure out where the charger part that goes into the wall for the charger for my laptop was. And I was just looking at the other end. It was completely attached to the actual charger.
Yeah, I usually take notes during the episode, like, just to keep, because I tend to kind of talk all over the place, I've noticed. But I didn't even do that because I was like, my whole thing with Aaron this week, I'm just like,
You're a parent, you're there.
But yeah, but also I felt it was less needed this episode because while there were new things, I've experienced the episode.
I usually don't take notes, and this time I did at least write down the scenes so we wouldn't meander, because I also feel like I meander, so we did the opposite. That's really funny.
We didn't even discuss it. But so yeah, I did. Did you like the episode of Flashbacks overall?
I did. I thought I wouldn't like just having a standalone flashback episode without it being mixed in, because I thought we had 10 episodes, but I think it worked as a flashback episode. And now I think that it wouldn't have been as effective sprinkled within. And it's just so sad how much they like contrasted how much Joel loves Ellie as you saw them cracking apart. And you really couldn't get that without everything, like a continuation of the flashbacks.
Yeah, that was interesting. That wasn't that was also a departure from the game, right? You didn't really see that push-pull so much in the normal parent-child way in the game, whereas like Ellie in the show was obviously like just budding up as an adolescent does, becoming an adult, like, doing normal things. And then that was kind of like their disconnect, like as with most parents and child as they grow up. He'll always see her as like that 14-year-old, and she was becoming a woman, and he struggled with it. But then it was interesting how she found out the truth in the show compared to the game. I didn't expect that at all. So well done. I didn't expect that at all. I did think that, yeah. I don't think we're missing any. Yeah. I thought it would be like feeling her finding out by going to the hospital like she did in the game. But no, I think this was, I liked it. I liked, they just know each other so well that she saw how he lied about Eugene. She was like, so, you know, in a sense, also in a sense, what's interesting is that you swore, that's been in the trailer since before the show aired. Everybody assumed, and weren't wrong, but also were, that she was talking about him talking about Utah.
Which she was. I think
she was. No, she was. I think that's what she, like, right when he said, I promise, or I swear, whatever he said, and then she comes back to see and then she sees how he lied to Gale.
Right.
Like, he had a whole story made up. Like he did with Ellie, with all the raiders and stuff. She was like, you son of a bitch.
And so 2 things on that, but like one, and like before getting to Ellie, but it's also part of it because I think Ellie sees Joel for who he is, and obviously she's having this doubt. It's growing. I think in the game with the flashbacks, you see the doubt creep in a little bit more. And with these flashbacks, it's there. You see her questioning, getting ready to question Joel about the hospital. And that scene, she's still kind of holding on to the hope that everything that he's saying is correct because it's probably, that's what she wants to be true. But she's seeing who Joel is, right? And we all know Joel is the person who is going to pick the selfish choice. He is going to pick his daughter over the world. And all of that crashing down on her in that scene. At first I was like, Ellie, you are a snitch. But then it all made sense as it came together.
So I have this problem. When I'm reading, when I was younger and I would be reading like books that would be getting emotional, I'd have to take a break. Like I need to come back to this.
Let's explore that.
And then now, because I think my mental health hasn't gotten any better since I was a teen, unfortunately, like really heightened emotional moments on like shows and movies, and still books too. I'm like, I so very much wanted to skip over that scene when she
no, thank you.
When she was like, I know what you're doing. I don't need to watch this, do I? I was like, I feel uncomfortable, Ellie.
Don't do this. Don't do this to us.
I know why. I'm not mad at you. I just don't want to see this. So I was like, I paused it. I was like, I please stop fighting. We're a family.
It was painful in the game, but it felt so much more painful here. And I think because, I mean, I guess it was a moment where Ellie broke in the game too, but the moment hit so much harder because of Eugene and like the heartbreak of that. Also, what a sad death. Like, that was painful.
I like my theory better just because it would have been less sad, I think.
It would have been so much less sad. And what are these rules? Like, they can't handle one infected. Would it really have mattered if they were at the wall and Eugene got to see Gale? I guess Gale could have, I don't know, people are emotional. And when you're emotional, you do weird, stupid things, I guess. But
I don't think it's a bad rule.
And
I think it's a pragmatic
Joel, come
rule.
on.
I think it was shitty what Joel did. Absolutely. But I think it's a pragmatic rule. Like, that seems like a rule that comes from trial. Like, you know how when you see warning signs on things and you're like, did this really need a warning sign? But then you're like, you know what? Somebody
Remember
made
what happened
it.
to Fran?
Somebody made it so you needed the warning sign. I feel like it was that type of situation.
That's fair. That's valid.
Like they learned from this from experience. But
Still stupid.
my question is, who's gonna ride with Eugene? Who's gonna have him in his mouth on, you know?
They just tie him to Shimmer. Tie his hands together, tape his mouth shut, put him on a horse. If he turns whatever, he's on a horse.
Where is Shimmer?
Shimmer is in a building. Remember? That's what we thought.
Did
That's
they leave?
The whole point.
Did they leave Shimmer in that record store or whatever?
I think so. The whole point is that they're supposed to go back for the horse. But like, that's also really bugged me in the game. Because what if I can't come back for my horse? Then my horse dies, and then I have double guilt.
No, because Shimmer dead in the game.
This not my Shimmer.
We got blown the F up.
Not my Shimmer.
Nope, I blocked that and I will continue to block it, so you shut up right now. Oh man. But yeah, I it was really interesting. I don't know. I think it was more effective this way because in the game, I'm gonna say it because we only have 2 episodes left. Or 1 episode left. What the fuck?
You know, I'm looking this up.
I've been wrong. I've been so wrong so far.
How many? Okay, go on with your thought.
I think the way Ellie quote unquote found out was so much more effective in the game. I mean, in the show, was because there was so much buildup in the game for her to find out. Like, you knew that's where we were. I mean, even though you know that's where we're going, all her rebellion against Joel leading up to that is just normal life stuff. Normal, I'm becoming more independent. You don't want me to become more independent type of stuff. It wasn't, well, I've seen suspicious stuff.
I do think that in the game, the museum was their last untainted moment.
It was. But they also had, they went to that music store, remember, in the game?
Yeah.
Where I think really started Ellie on her journey to go back to Salt Lake. Because she got stuck with all those dead fireflies.
Oh, that was traumatizing.
But also, that's also where we get a better idea that the fireflies aren't your benevolent overlords, which I thought was good. I mean, not that I'm not saying they're evil, but you know,
no. Nobody's good and nobody's bad in this world.
Well, I think Isaac's pretty evil right now.
Okay, with pockets. Even Isaac is justifiable. I don't agree with you, dude. But like, if you sit me in his corner long enough, I get it. I get your torture. Okay, I don't get your torture.
You're gonna become Dead-Eyed Burton.
Oh, is that his name? Did we figure out his name? Good on you.
I wrote it down. See, if I write things down, I remember it better. So I barely even look at my notes because it's all like just random stuff when I'm writing it as I'm watching, and then I organize it more, and then I don't need it. That's usually how it goes for me.
I agree though that the Ellie's anger, and it just felt so much more palpable. And I don't like quite have like the words for it, but like her anger hits so much harder this time.
I think it's because it felt more. It was portrayed, I think, more heartbreaking than angry. But even she says, which that's another thing. Did you expect us to get the whole porch scene?
I didn't. I'm happy we did, because we didn't get the let's watch a movie together scene. I felt so wronged by not having at least like a glimmer of, okay, we're going to take a step forward and we're going to try to work on making this better. I needed that. I needed that last.
You were mad about that in the game?
Heartbreak. I was mad we didn't get that in the show.
We didn't get that in the game, did we? We got her talking about it with Dina.
But there was either like a letter, or I don't remember if it's a conversation or if like there was like a letter in her journal or something. But there was Ellie. The last thing that she said to Joel is that they could watch that show that they watched.
Well, we know
which Dina took in the show.
Ellie was planning on doing that because Ellie and Dina went on the patrol Jesse and Ellie did in the show. Right? And that's where Ellie was talking about how she thinks she's gonna watch the movie with Joel.
Oh, so maybe she didn't tell him
before he died.
Yeah, maybe I'm conflating.
And then we didn't see game spoilers, I guess. We didn't see the last porch scene until the very, very end of the game.
Right.
Which I think was effective game-wise, but I don't hate the change. At all. And it was so much more. Joel was so much more. You know, the way Pedro
has cow. Holy shit.
Because Joel in the game was still a bit stoic. Like he was
not
showing
season one stoic, but yeah, he still stumbled around emotions.
He wasn't. Tears weren't coming down.
But Pedro, man, I didn't, and that whole conversation, I just was such a gut punch. This whole episode was such a gut punch, but Joel finally cracking open, because he was also, he was crying about Sarah. He was crying about Ellie. I guess there's the connection to the stupid baby at this point.
Hey, darling. Jackson, too.
Oh, she's a Jackson member.
The lesser known Jackson.
Slightly less bloody Jackson.
But I thought, yeah, it was. So what I've been wondering for this show, and also because I'm almost like I'm on the very, very, very last mission of Veilguard.
Interesting connection.
Well, because it's gotten me wondering. There are some things that happened in Veilguard, and I feel like in Veilguard they're using. The problem with Veilguard is their storyline isn't holding its own.
The problem with Veilguard is a bad game.
So I like the gameplay. I actually like the combat and stuff. I think the storyline is I think the writing is tough. Is their downfall. Because they are relying on the nostalgia of all of the previous Dragon Age games. So like the relationships you build just seem so shallow. And I did their loyalties because I need to. It's almost like, with each successive Mass Effect, you got less attached to your new companions and you just wanted your old ones to come around.
That was hard. Yeah, that was hard to navigate. Veilguard just felt so formulaic and like, okay, I'm doing your loyalty quest. Okay, I'm doing your loyalty quest. There was no buy-in. And I'm saying that as somebody who went in super stoked on it. I'm not like one of those haters. Just as I went through the game, my love for it diminished.
Yeah, I can see your chest. I haven't been streaming that long. A couple months, I think. Um, yeah. So the story. So what I've been wondering about Last of Us in relation to that is how much of the emotion that the show brings out, especially like with the flash, especially thinking about during this with the flashbacks, is because of what we experienced in the game. But I think they did enough that was different to make it their own in the show. Like I know there's this whole, I don't understand the whole arguments though. Like it's not enough of an adaptation.
Too much. Are you saying that the people who have played a game are not going to have as strong of emotions, or they'll have stronger emotions?
I'm curious about if they'll have stronger emotions because they experienced it like in a more personal way. New. Right.
There's no way you're gonna watch. There is no way. I think with certain scenes, okay, there is no way with Pedro Pascal crying that much and Bella, her tears. I think I keep calling her Bella instead of Ellie. There's no way you can watch that scene. I think that scene is so raw that there's no way you're not going to crumble and just get pulled into it.
Oh yeah, I think they're amazing. I just think this season has been so similar to the game compared to. I don't remember thinking this during the first season. Is what I'm. I wasn't really. I felt like when we were talking about the first season more, I was able to, maybe it's a me problem, have it be its own thing. Do you think
that's because there were those standalone episodes, even though the standalone episodes, like they did, kind of, they were built around the game, but they kind of had their own life. So do you think there's like enough new characters and pocket episodes where, there's so much new content that's kind of recontextualizing how I see the game that's doing that? And since we don't have that this season, you get less of that? Or do you just think it's like without that, you would still think it? Or with those episodes, you would still think that if we got them?
I think first season, and you know what? This isn't a criticism because I don't really know how much they could have changed from the game to make it more theirs, right? I guess more TV show because it's so specific. I think this story is in its journey way more specific than the first game and show. So it was easier to deviate and make it your own, like, changing tests around. The whole Billy, right? That was his name? Mm-hmm. It's the Billy solo episodes. I think they were just able to distinguish it more from the game than they were this second season. And it just makes me wonder how much of the emotional impact is because like we were talking about last time, the scenes when the set design, again, 100% amazing, like so great. And it transports you back to when you first walked in there as Ellie, with Ellie, during like 100%. The museums and stuff. And I really am curious does it have that emotional impact as much? And I don't even know how you can quantify it, like to really know if it would match just a first time watcher never played the game. My assumption is you're feeling the difference between I think that's like we can start talking about the difference between video games and like TV shows, because like games are a little bit more immersive, especially like a game like The Last of Us, because you are Ellie, you are Joel. So I think that comes with a set of inherent emotions that like you might not get if you're just watching a show. And that's when you rely on,
Pedro and Bella really carrying the emotion. So I think there's going to be some there has to be a level of disconnect because you're not Joel and you're not Ellie. But I guess I'd be curious to see how much, but I do think the show is standing on its own emotionally.
I think this, weirdly enough, I think this one was almost the most deviated the show has gone so far this season. And in a weird way, because it still matched it a lot. You know, we had the Joel backstory, the whole Eugene thing is how she finds out, or quote unquote finds out, because she does say she's always suspected, which I've always suspected she did. I suspected she suspected. But oh man, I love that. I you know what though? I think I love the porch scene more in the show.
I agree. I think, honestly, the reveals of this episode, I don't necessarily want to say I like them more because obviously, like, the game and the TV show are two different beasts. I think for the show-wise, handled it perfectly and, like, the best way that a show can handle it.
Maybe I just wanted more in the game because it was a lot shorter, and at the very end where I was already devastated.
A big criticism of the game is like, obviously everybody hated that Joel died, and so many people just couldn't get over the fact and will never get over the fact. And I get that. The people who weren't those people, and I think I would classify myself as those people. It hurt, but then it's kind of realistic. But then, like, this is a game. We don't need to make it that realistic. Those moments in time they didn't feel long enough. They didn't feel enough. And they left you wanting more, but in, like, a very frustrating way, which, again, real life, but real life sucks. Give me the pain that I crave in this video format.
I mean, if you're looking for, like, so I've been having a difficult week with my dog because she's a lemon. But, you know, so what I've been playing is Stardew Valley, because I'm like, that's the amount of emotional capacity I have. That is not Last of Us. Last of Us is built for devastation. Like, right. Do you want to emotionally abuse yourself? Then you're gonna play The Last of Us.
We're not getting out of here alive.
Like, that is the game. Like, I mean, we talked about it when the first teaser came out of her playing the guitar for Last of Us 2. And
oh yeah, we were like, Joel's dead.
I mean, I feel like we were kind of like that. If there is a sequel, Joel's dead, like, for sure.
How is there a sequel and Joel doesn't die?
Right.
I just don't understand why people were shocked.
I think people just wanted to be mad, and then they saw what Abby looked at like, and then they wanted to be extra mad. It's like, you know, let's just relax, you guys.
The internet has no chill.
The internet has no chill, and you know, there's a not insignificant amount of people that just want to hate anything that could be different. So,
and they seem louder.
I think it's one of those things. I don't go on Twitter anymore. You know, like, I've abandoned the Little Nazis platform.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's part of what it is. Like, I don't know if it's for the good or for the bad, but I just don't want to give them my time or energy anymore. But we are becoming more ideologically segregated on the internet.
To the point where a show can't be a show. It has to be this, like, deep thing. Yeah.
Right. Like, a muscular woman cannot be a muscular woman. It has to be something else. Aloy on box art cannot have peach fuzz on her face.
Oh my God, the amount of men who have never seen a woman just out of
Right?
themselves on that one.
Like,
So hard.
That's not being woke. That's being atomically accurate. Like, what are we doing here?
Even last episode, people were losing their minds over Ellie saying, "I'm going to be a dad," and I didn't even think of taking it in which great, maybe she did mean it in like a play on gender, norms, and like Ellie not, being fluid or whatever, but like that is something you joke about, like, you know what I mean? It was such an innocent thing that didn't have to be dragged into the depths of this political thing, and the fact that people just couldn't accept it, I guess, doesn't shock me, but did shock me. Just shut up, everybody. Just shut up.
I mean, just because Ellie thinks sorry, just because Ellie's a lesbian doesn't mean she thinks she's a man.
And if that's like the route they are taking with Ellie,
right?
Also, huge, not a big deal. But the fact is, right now, all we've really seen from Ellie is
here's
like
the
a
thing.
woman, and she's lesbian. So I don't understand. Like, just leave it alone.
I think if you had a 90s, early 2000s TV show where these two straight girl best friends, one of them actually got pregnant, so the other best friend, ride or die, is gonna help them through it. I can see that joke being made. I'm gonna be a dad, and nobody would have thought anything of it. I would like.
Now people are so sensitive to just anything that just deviates even slightly from gender roles, and it's just calm down.
Like, what is your agenda? It's like, maybe I just thought it was funny.
It was a hee-hee. And if it's not a hee-hee, who cares?
Right, it was 2
seconds.
But
I really do think in this instance, it was a hee-hee.
No, yeah, I 100% I think it was a hee-hee. Not a he.
Yeah.
Not a she-hee, but a hee-hee ha-ha. But like, and you know what's so crazy? You know what I don't understand? Like, off tangent, I guess, but like, everybody was so mad about Abby potentially being a trans woman, right? And I didn't hear a peep about Lev, so they didn't really care about that
because
they were still just mad because Abby had more muscles than them or something.
It didn't fit the male gaze, so I don't think like Lev wasn't threatening to them.
No, and it's like, be consistent at least or something. Like, if you're gonna hate, be consistent with it. Get
out of this space. Like, this space isn't for you. Like, you're not wanted here. Go away. The game and the game spaces are so much better without you. I think we should save this for next time, as we're like, I don't know if we're gonna like give overall opinions next time or next time, but it just like, the fact, and I was complaining about this to you over text, but like the fact that Ellie doesn't look like Ellie is horrible, world ending. It's a bad adaptation. Nobody's taking this seriously. They ruined it. But the fact that Abby doesn't look like Abby is so good. The game should have learned from this.
They're correcting themselves or something.
They're correcting themselves. It's so mind-bogglingly stupid how inconsistent the criticism is of, okay, I don't like this, so clearly the adaptation is awful, but I do like this, so this means that they're doing it right. Just leave. Just go away. Let us enjoy the game and this show.
Like, if there's like, I'm gonna be honest, there are some actors who I don't want to watch because I think they're a completely, like, as far as I know, they're completely nice people, but their face that they make when they emote annoy me, and I don't want to watch them. But what I don't do is go, you guys casted wrong in this movie. I'm like, well, this movie's not for me then. I'm not gonna go into places that love that movie or that show or whatever and be like, you guys are so wrong about this. Why do you like this? When does this get good?
Oh my God, don't trigger me.
I hate, that is I have stopped myself from ranting on Reddit when people ask that for things. It's like, if you don't like it, it's okay to not like it. It's not a moral failing not to like something.
In fact, it's weird that you're like pushing yourself to like it. Just drop it. There's so much media out there these days to the point that it's overload. Just stop, move on, close that door. It's not a big deal.
You don't have to like the popular thing. You don't have to like the not popular thing.
I don't like White Lotus. I'm not watching it anymore.
I don't like Breaking Bad. I don't think it's a bad show. I just don't care for Walter. And then why am I going to watch a show about Walter then?
Also valid.
You know? But I'm not saying like, all you guys, when is this going to get good, you guys? Like, I think you guys think it's good. And that's enough for me. You can enjoy your show. I will be in my other corner of the internet. Which is also why, like, if you get around to watching Murderbot, right? Like, and you don't like it, I think we can talk about something else. We can find something else. We can go with Fallout. I think Fallout would be something you would actually... I'm more confident in you liking Fallout than I am with you liking Murderbot.
Why don't you think I'm going to like Murderbot? It's sci-fi. What's not to like about a sci-fi show?
It is sci-fi. It's very... the first 2 episodes are very set up. And there are a couple things I didn't really care for on it that I hope settles down in the future. But overall, my opinion was I enjoyed the adaptation of what they've done so far. So, but, you know, sometimes you just don't like something. It doesn't even have to be like a good reason. Also, I don't want you to have to subscribe to something and you don't care for it just so I can talk about it.
It's me just being like, I hate this.
Right.
I don't see myself disliking it.
But like, even so, if you did, all we would do is not talk about it on here, and I would continue to enjoy it on my own.
I'm trying to think of like adaptations where they've adapted like really popular characters and didn't quite follow like the mold, but I can't think of any.
Didn't quite follow the mold and did it well?
That like, and people didn't complain, because it seems like nobody's really complaining about Pedro Pascal, right?
They were.
Like, he wasn't.
I was.
You were. I mean, I was like, but like, whatever, I'll go with it, 'cause like Pedro Pascal.
I wasn't mad about it.
Down.
I wasn't mad about it. I was disappointed.
Like, right.
I am not still disappointed.
But people, that's quieted down. Like, that's
right.
And I get, but people are doubling down, hate watching, essentially, just to criticize Bella, who's doing a phenomenal freaking job. You're going out of your way to like nitpick this young woman who's bringing her A level to this character just because she doesn't look exactly like Ellie. That hate for Joel is gone.
I think
I haven't seen any for Dina.
I think Bella might be non-binary.
Oh, are they? I didn't know that.
I've been so wrong about so many things. But I'm
Let's
pretty
go with
sure.
they, just in case. Well,
yeah. But
pivot to
still doesn't change anything. Still doing a phenomenal job.
And then Dina isn't getting any hate, and I think because she's a
conventionally
attractive,
and she's a spunky girl.
She's so spunky.
I said that like I don't like her. I do like Dina. I don't like that she's pregnant. That's the only thing I don't like about Dina is the incubation.
The incubation.
And it did bother me a little bit when he was talking about like, when he's talking to Ellie in the porch scene, when it's your turn. I was like, oh, you just made more sense, and that annoys me even more. Then I'm like,
don't you dare bring this around here, Joel.
But yeah, I don't know. I think I mean, we'll talk about this, I guess, after the last episode, like overall season thoughts.
Yeah.
I think, but for this episode, I will say, I don't think it was great. I think it edged over just fine, though. And it was good. It was a good, solid episode that did what it set out to do, and it did it in a way that I didn't expect, which I enjoyed a ton.
Maybe I'm relying too much on nostalgia and just really wanting this and really wanting to see these moments. I wouldn't say it was quite a Bill episode, and I think that's what they were kind of hoping for. I fully bought into it. I think this is one of the first, I think it goes episode 2, episode 6 in terms of my favorites so far.
The episode where Joel died is your favorite?
It was such a good episode. There was emotion, there was drama, there was violence. We thought we had a Tommy death. Oh my God, I can go on and on about my beating, palpitating
I don't know
heart
if I can like
episode.
the season as much just because it feels like a Prove Shannon Wrong season.
It truly does.
I was like, this bitch doesn't know anything about TV. She thinks she knows so much. Oh, you don't think I can do a clicker horde at the same time Joel's gonna die? Well, watch me do it well. Not even just well. I'm gonna do it great. I'm gonna do it in a way that you can't even imagine how I couldn't have done it like that before. Oh, did you come up with this intricate plan for Eugene? No. I'm just gonna make it more devastatingly emotional than some conspiracy that you want.
Yeah, we just wanted it to make it hurt.
That I was laughing so much at that though. I was like, I thought I was so smart.
And I bought in. It made sense. It made sense that like
I posted
that's
the
where
short.
the friction would come from.
I posted the short with such confidence because I was like, "Oh, I better get this out there before they reveal it."
This is mine.
so the people know how right I am, how smart I am, and then they're like, "You dummy." Maybe he just loves his wife. You think about that? Why does it have to be something? Why does Gail have to not like him other than the fact that he killed her husband? Is that not a good enough reason? And lied about it. Oh, that's another thing. That's another reason why I wanted to pause it, because she went up to hug him like in gratitude. Yeah. And I'm like, Ellie, you fucked it up so much. And then he still had the nerve. Joel, you're right. Joel is so selfish.
That's Joel, a baseline characteristic of his.
Joel is a selfish. He in a weird, selfish, selfless way. Because we saw that he can be selfless with, Tommy getting the beating and all that stuff.
And in that sense, he kind of was selfless with Ellie, but it all like comes from like this weird savior, selfish, I'm the protector, so I'm gonna protect and I don't care. And then we even saw it with even like bringing him back to Eugene, like I don't know the rules, maybe they are like set in stone, but it did seem pretty harmless. But that's who Joel is, right? He is going to protect his people from any sense of threat, even if it takes away this one little kindness he could have done for somebody.
I mean, he's pragmatic.
I suppose that's the word for it.
I guess unless you count, killing everybody for Ellie. I guess that's not pragmatism. But you know what also I wish, and I wish this for the game too, I wish somebody out there will tell Ellie that her life means something with or without a cure. Like, it's okay because I think the reason, like, I think the firefighters were wrong in not asking Ellie what she wanted. I think Ellie would have chosen to die for the cure, but I don't think it would have been. I think a lot of that would be born out of survivor's guilt more than altruism.
It's a hard choice to.
Because I think she's been feeling guilty since Riley.
A 12-year-old girl needs to make.
I still don't. I think
you know what I mean.
It's so really gross to not even wake somebody up though.
Just to be hey, just checking. Are you okay with this? But so going on, I mean, I know I don't think we're getting a Last of Us 3 game from the last thing that Druckmann said. But I think the whole thing with Ellie is she needs to go on a whole survivor's guilt.
I don't think we can rely on Druckmann to tell the truth on that. I think Naughty Dog is having a game coming out that they want people to concentrate on instead of Last of Us 3, if there is a Last of Us 3. But he's previously said before there's an outline or there's an idea of an outline or something for a third one.
But then he said, I guess he did, but I guess he pivoted and said that, if there's no story to tell, then he doesn't want to tell the story.
I think he's always said
trust
that.
him.
Yeah, I think if he comes up with a story for 3, he'll I don't think he's gonna be forced to do a 3. But I don't think right now, especially with all the stuff Naughty Dog has going on, and the fact that he might want people to concentrate on season 2, that he's necessarily gonna be 100% truthful. I think I think he doesn't really want people to think about it right now, which I think is completely fair. They have that space game coming out that I forget what the name of it is.
That looks so good. Oh man, what is that name?
I forget.
I'm not gonna.
I know there was a lot of overt advertisement that people were complaining about.
Shut up. I think it's intergalactic or something. Maybe not.
And here's what I say to that. I think that's I don't think that's for I think it helps, but I think did you remember the movie The Island with Ewan McGregor and Scarlett Johansson?
Yeah.
There was also complaints on that movie that there's so many advertisements when they went out into the world. It's just not realistic. It's have you seen the world we are in? That is 100% realistic in the future that everything would become an advertisement. There's a podcast I listen to called Midnight Burger that they had an episode where as a society, people jobs got so automated and people had no way to make income anymore that they just got chips inserted into their brain to just constantly spit out ads while they speak. And I don't think that's completely out of the realm of reason. So I think if you're going to have a futuristic game in space, I think it makes sense that if there's no mention of it, then I'll take it back. But I think it's part of the game, the world that they are in, that everything's so branded.
Outer Worlds, but better.
You didn't like Outer Worlds?
I thought it was fine. I thought it was a solid, fine game. I think Intergalactic, if that's what it's even called, let's just call it the Naughty Dog space game. I think what this is hopefully going to be is what I thought Outer Worlds was going to be.
I mean, it was made by the people that made New Vegas, I think.
Yeah, that's what initially got me super stoked on it, but
no, you're you know what? You're not far off. Intergalactic the Heretic Prophet.
Oh, that's the name of it fully?
I think maybe you could have just gone with the Heretic Prophet. I don't know if Intergalactic's necessary, but yeah, but that's what it's called.
I just remember all of the people who are probably on Reddit complaining about Ellie not being hot enough are probably the same people. This is just turning into us hating on a certain population of the game. It was just like, this is a DI game, and like, just it looks so cool. Shut up.
I mean, there's a feminine looking woman with a shaved head. What do you think? Don't you think that's a message?
Yeah.
Like, honestly, I would shave my head. I've had a dream of shaving my head one time because I hate like doing hair things.
And feeling your hair on your neck.
Cool. And then always having to like cut it, or like you're sleeping and it's like all in your face and it's like, ugh.
You think it's a spider crawling on your face.
But I don't like the maintenance that would be required for a shorter haircut to keep it that way, which is why I've never done it. So what I do is I just like, chop it off to like bottom neck length, let that grow out until it annoys me, and then I chop it off. Like that's my hairstyle. But I've wanted to shave it just to see what it looks like, but now I can't. No.
If I was brave enough, I'd shave my head.
Well, I've got that grody scar now.
I think that would add to the hairless look.
Well, another problem with that is it
would give you a Fallout look, honestly, that big scar.
You know what? I also had to get well, I didn't get stitches. I got glue instead. On my forehead, like right at the hairline down. And I'm going to be honest, I was excited about that scar cuz I was like, this is my like Mass Effect Fallout scar. Like this is my character creation scar, but it healed so well. It healed amazing. I can barely see it. I'd have to look really hard, and I was just kind of really disappointed on how I wish my head healed that way, but that was staples, so I don't think that was ever possible.
There's like some plastic surgeon out there patting themselves on the back, and you're
no, it's just like a regular ER doctor that just glued it shut and like attached my hair to it a little bit too. Like, but you know, I also the scar itches a lot sometimes, so it's less obvious that I'm like scratching at it when I have hair. Otherwise, it's just like constantly bringing attention to it. But anyway, the flashback episode. Thumbs up.
Solid. 2 thumbs up.
I am really disappointed. And I don't think I set myself up for disappointment. I think there is so much content to get through. Even if they're following the structure of the game, I don't expect it to end at season 3.
It feels like it can't. Like, I'm already kind of shocked, but not shocked that we're going to the wharf. Like, it was kind of half paid attention to the
like, you know what they could if they
next week.
Why couldn't they do 14 episodes? 12 episodes. 6 Ellie, 6 Abby.
I'm not going to. Listen. I guess I'm here. I think I am. I have an easier time sitting in the passenger seat on this than you do, but like, yeah, whatever. I mean, I just think 7 is a stupid number in general. Just do 8 at that point. But I am fine being in the passenger seat and seeing like, hey, how are you going to do this?
I guess. I mean, as much as I complained, they have all the things they've proven me wrong on. It's been done in a way that's better than I thought it was going. Like, I thought my idea was cool, and then they're like, "No, it's not. This is cool." I'm like, "Yeah, you're right." So I do think it is one of those things. It's like, I don't know how you're gonna do this. I trust that you are, though, because they've shown me more ways than not that they know what they're doing. Oh, I know you watched the trailers now. Do you watch the when they speak about the episodes after that?
I didn't this time. I just get so, after sitting for an hour, I just get so antsy that I'm like, I'll get to it, and then I never get back to it.
How very Gen Z of you. So they were talking about the astronaut museum scene.
Ooh.
And he was like, Craig was breaking down the first season when we were making the second game.
Okay, so interesting.
Yeah, I didn't realize. Maybe I just, I'm really bad with time, like remembering when things are. Like me, this might be a bad story to tell. Me and my sister were talking, and I was like, yeah, I'm not really like, I don't remember dates very well. Like even the dates of like when my parents died. And I was like, yeah, because like our dad died in like October. She was like, October. It's like, oh. No, December. He died in December. And that's like a formative event in my life. So
yeah, I kind of know the gist of it.
So I'm not very good with like I'm very bad with dates, but I didn't realize that I thought the second game was already out by the time we knew we were getting a TV show.
I couldn't begin to remember when we learned what.
But so he showed him the astronaut scene while they're making it. The little capsule scene, and Craig was like, that has to be in the show, which absolutely 100%. That would have been a riot.
I think that one scene would have been the one thing that would actually get me.
You had to
upset.
show the dinosaur and you had to show the capsule. Like that.
But we knew once they were hinting the dinosaurs and the space things.
No,
like,
no,
okay,
yeah.
we got it.
I'm saying like it couldn't have even been a consideration not to. That would have been terrible. But I thought it was interesting. I didn't realize that was the timeline of the second game.
Yeah, that's interesting.
So yeah, I think there's not a ton to talk about with this episode, I don't think, because it's all just flashbacks. But I did, overall thoughts. I did really enjoy how it all transpired with Ellie finding out. I thought it was going to be so much more, and as they've shown me time and time again, and I need to really stop thinking things are going to be more.
But more, more what? I guess
I thought she was going to go to Utah. Is what I thought. What I mean.
Okay.
I didn't because especially when she was like practicing her speech.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, so they're just getting set up for her to go to Utah and stuff. And I thought maybe we'd see the Firefly bodies again and stuff. I don't know why. I thought it was important in the game, but I guess it wasn't.
That's a fair assumption. I don't think I thought that.
I don't miss it
too much.
I think what they did was correct. But it's just, yeah.
It just the one thing, like the only thing is, and it's not really a criticism of the show. It's like the beast of this being a show. It's just like it was a little bit of a shock seeing. And again, I wasn't really paying attention to the trailer, but I remember like getting a little bit jolt seeing the wharf, and I don't know if just because like the wharf, like that was a very fun thing to play through. But I was like, wow, already. But then like I'm sure when you're playing the game, I'm sure it's like when you don't die 25 times at every level, it's probably not as long as I'm making the game out either.
I mean, I don't know how much of the wharf we're going to see in season 2. Right?
That was Ellie. What do you mean?
Wait. The wharf is an Abby thing. Wasn't it?
It's also an Ellie thing, though. No, that's an Ellie thing.
The aquarium.
Oh, the aquarium. Sorry. I'm thinking Aquarium, Fisherman's Wharf, San Francisco, and Monterey.
Yeah. Well, no, I figure. Well, we're also getting. This is the part where we're going to bump into like next episode spoilers. we're getting the theater. Like, I think it's going to end where I... now I don't, because I'll probably be wrong. I think it's going to end at the theater.
That's what I said.
That's what you said. Theory. That's what you said, yeah. I agree with you
That's what I said. But then I was like, oh, we're 10 episodes, so there's no way it can end there because we have 4 more episodes. Now that there's 7, my theory goes back.
Because we did see in the trailer Jesse and Ellie looking frantic in the theater.
Oh, I missed that.
I mean, it was a blink if you miss it kind of thing, so. But. So, we're either gonna... No, yeah, I think we're gonna end there, and then season 3 is gonna start up.
With Abby. Even though Ellie has so much more to go, though.
I mean, we should probably save this, because I don't know.
Okay, table it for next episode.
But yeah, we should do season 3 prediction or more. I don't know how they're gonna do this. Because there is so much Ellie. I think we'll still see Ellie. I think let's table this as I talk about it right now. But I think it'll be a similar thing as to this season. Where, like, we'll probably see Ellie in the beginning.
Yeah, you can't...
Well, we're good. Yeah, I don't know. No.
Ballsy to take away Joel and then to take away Ellie, but I do think you need it. If not for like the full episodes, some of them. But okay, tabling it.
It'll be really interesting to see audience reaction if it goes the way we think it is. I'm here for the ride because I have been proven wrong so many times this season, and I feel like they've set me up, going, "Trust us, Shannon." And I'm like, okay. I'm
like the golden retriever with my head out the window. Being like, okay, cool.
Every once in a while, I'm like the annoying border collie that's like a ball. And you're like, what?
Like, but ball.
Which is kind of just like, that's grim, right? Border collie golden? No?
He's an Australian Shepherd golden, but he's the most least interested in chasing or swimming or hurting or doing anything other than getting pets and play with me, you dick.
You got the laziest Aussie golden?
I got the laziest dude in the world. It's so annoying. Of course I would.
Well, I mean, what do you expect from a goth dog, though?
That's true. He has to brood.
Exactly. All right, I think that's us for episode 206. Shockingly, the second to last episode of season 2.
Biggest shock of the season, honestly.
Yeah. I do think one of the best episodes this season, though. I think they nailed it.
Second best.
You know, it is interesting that your 2 favorites are the ones I was proven most wrong on.
We should examine that.
Yeah, we should. We're gonna have to go to, like, I used to listen to this podcast where the 2 hosts admitted that they went to couples counseling.
I was gonna say, we must mean therapy.
This is gonna end up with. But yeah, so next time we're gonna talk about 207 season finale. I wonder if it's gonna be an hour or longer. Interesting.
It's gotta be like an hour and 30, but who's to say?
They've been sticking pretty close to just an hour this season. I think this was the longest episode at an hour. So, and they use that time wisely.
Most shows don't. We might hear Grim bark in a second.
But, so yeah, no, Monday, 3 o'clock, we'll be back for a finale. And then after
6 p.m. Eastern.
You're right, 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern. And then after that, I guess we'll see. If you like Murderbot, we can talk about that. And then if you don't, I really think we should get on, if you want, Fallout.
I think I'm guessing we'll probably end up doing both, but I'm talking it up, and I'm going to be wrong just because I'm talking it up, but I can't see myself not liking Murderbot.
we'll see. It's only they're only first 2 episodes are out and they're only 30 minutes long, so you don't really have a ton to catch up on. 30 minutes each, not 2 episodes at 30 minutes. That would be crazy. 15-minute episodes.
That would be so 2025 in a bad way.
But like, it's like a web series on YouTube.
That's exactly what it would be. Just make it a podcast.
But yeah, but since Fallout's been out, we don't even have to like stack them if you want to do that afterwards.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
So, but yeah, again, I'm not gonna force you to subscribe to something you don't care for. Although, have you seen Silo? That's another adaptation.
Apparently, don't have Apple TV.
That's another adaptation that I think is well done. But okay, that is us for today. If you want to follow Sonja, you can at her spots, which is
Spooky Curious on Instagram. Basically, Spooky Curious everywhere but TikTok, and that's Ghostly Reads.
And then I am... oh, we didn't even say our names at the beginning of this, did we? We just went into it. I am Shannon. Space Cryptids on Instagram, Twitch, YouTube, Blue Sky. I do not have Twitter. So if you see that on Twitter, it is not me. I do not go on that spot. I do not go to that dark place on the internet. All right, so hope you join us for our finale and see what happens with that.
I'm excited.
Okay. Bye.